with us. This just in from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Sun Prairie Police are investigating an incident at the high school. The Sun Prairie School District says the police department received an anonymous phone call that there was an active threat at the school. Officers responded and students were evacuated and sent to the district service center, Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School, Sun Prairie City Hall, and also houses in the neighborhood. Law enforcement determined there was not an active threat. The school district says all students are safe. This is a developing story, however, and we will have the latest at channel3000.com and in our later newscasts. A local environmental group is drawing attention to chemicals found in Lake Monona after the July transformer fires downtown.
Amy Reed joins us now to show us what this group wants you to know, Amy.
The chemicals that we're talking about here are PFAS. We also talk about these cancer-causing chemicals when referencing firefighting foam from Truex Field, and that closed well 15 on the east side. But now this group is worried about how PFAS will move through one of the main fishing spots in the state. From the moment firefighting efforts began on the massive transformer fire in July, the DNR was keeping track of long-term environmental impacts firefighting foam would have. Now data showing various levels of PFAS in our stormwater and ultimately Lake Monona is concerning people like Maria Powell.
The science is telling us these levels are concerning.
Powell runs the Midwest Environmental Justice Organization. She works with people who fish along the banks of Lake Monona and depend on that fish for food. She said the PFAS levels in some parts higher than a proposed groundwater standard of 20 parts per trillion should be looked into more.
There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of studies now on PFAS compounds. And there are scientists out there at Harvard, at the federal government, who are saying even that 20 parts per trillion standard, it should be way lower. It should be 1.
And even levels as low as 10 parts per trillion in water could result in levels closer to 1,000 parts per trillion in fish. And it could pose a danger to other animals as well.
It's more about almost what we don't know as much as what we do know. What we do know is concerning. What we don't know is a lot. And in order to protect people, we need to do a lot more investigation.
Amy Barrio with the Madison Water Utility said the threat to our drinking water is much lower, at least for now.
What people should understand when it comes to our system is that our wells are cased very deeply into the ground. It takes a long time for any kind of surface contaminant to make it into our wells.
She said this situation was taken seriously from the beginning, and the DNR is still doing remediation to keep future PFAS contamination from happening, as well as testing the groundwater to see how big of a problem this could be.
We're going to hopefully find out that level that is may or may not be in the groundwater, and then we can have some better knowledge.
We've reached out to the DNR for specifics on how they'll remediate these chemicals. They haven't gotten back to us yet. In the meantime, the water utility is keeping watch on how this data progresses, while Powell cautions people who fish on Lake Monona to be careful feeding the fish to children and pregnant women who are the most vulnerable to these chemicals.
All right, Amy, thank you.
Thanks, Amy.